Everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a look at our self-replicating malware in Python, and we're going to be converting it into an exe file. This exe should be fully undetectable, and there should be no antivirus that should detect it as a virus. So right here we have the program that I wrote in one of the last videos. If you take a look at the video called making a self-replicating malware in Python that I did a couple of weeks back, you'll be able to see the review of this code. And what it basically does is it has a shell, and it has some additional functions and allows us to navigate the shell the way we want to. And we have the destroyer, and we have the warmy, and the scheduler for task scheduling, and the replicator for replicating. And I'm not going to explain what these do because I explained that in the previous video. So the only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run the shell right here, and the shell just connects and makes sure that every input from the hacker goes through as a valid input. So for example, change directories, which was a problem before, and also adds dir to that. So if you use cd something, it adds dir to that. Okay, so in order to convert this to exe, pip install PyInstaller. Why this one and not py2exe? Well, because it's just easier. A colleague of mine showed me that this is the easiest way, and I've tried it and it works great, and I am actually thankful for this because it is really simple. So all you do is pip install, but since I already installed it, it's just going to say requirement already satisfied. Since we're already in the folder and we have our program, let's do PyInstaller, the name of the program, and press tab. Because when you press tab, it adds this thing. I don't think you need it, but you can just put it there. Space out and then write one file. This will make sure that it generates one exe file. Okay, you can also do no console, which will make sure that once you run the program, there will be no console, which is a great thing because it will basically run in the background. But I'm not going to do that because sometimes it bugs out. So I'm just going to say one file. Press enter and just wait. That's all you have to do, and it's going to do everything for you. Once it says it's done, you're going to take a look in the dist folder where your exe is going to be, and you can delete all of the other stuff and just use this exe. So since we put the shell to be connecting to 108, which seems to be my IP, and it says 107, so this is not going to work. We're going to have to change it up and make sure that it's 107. And we're going to pick a port to be 1337. All right, and now we can rebuild it. It doesn't really matter that it built this. We can just rebuild over it, but I'm going to delete this just in case. All right, so let's rebuild it. And in the meantime, I'm going to run netcat because I'm going to listen on that port and I'm going to connect it myself, and it should work. So if I run netcat 64, I do lvp, and I'll do the port. It was 1337 if I'm not wrong. And there we go, this one is done. It has made the exe file, and we can exit this. And if we go back to our folder and go to dist, you can see prog.exe. Now we can completely replace this from where it was. We can put it here, and as I said, you don't need these folders, and you don't need this one either. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to listen. I'm going to press enter. And now we're listening onto that port, and we're going to connect to ourselves. Also, when you're using PowerShell or CMD, make sure that you didn't like click in the mouse. You're going to be confused why there's no connection. Yeah, it kind of pauses it. So, okay. So now let's start the program, and the program starts. It says attempting to connect to hacker, waiting, and hooking onto the IP. And there you have it, shell on. Let's do ipconfig. As a matter of fact, ipconfig is not a great proof because we already have the ipconfig. We already know that it's the same machine, but still, we can still do ls, dir, and it's going to list out a directory like this. Why like this? Well, because bytes, it just gets messed up. You can edit it yourself if you want. See, let's make a directory. All right, so we made a directory, and if we do it now, we're going to see the directory sub to hox, and as you can see, it doesn't have any values right next to it like this program does, which means it's just a directory. And we can actually change the directory to sub to hox. And this works because I've added the special cd function, as you remember from the previous video. And if we're there, there's not going to be anything inside. We can cd back, and we're back in the directory, and we can do all sorts of other stuff. So let's try to do, since we have the administrator right here, let's try to like disable a firewall or something. Okay, we seem to have access is denied. All right, so this happens because access is denied because PowerShell actually asks for administrator privileges. So ideally, you would just put your program.exe in the properties to run as administrator every time it runs, so just check this box. And then once someone runs it, it's going to prompt as an administrator, and it should be fine. And we can also do, I don't know, we can do echo to a new file. And if we run this, there's going to be a new text file saying sub to Hawk. So you can do whatever you want right now. I can actually fire up the browser right now because I'm connected to myself, because this is running. And as I said, if you remove the terminal, this shouldn't exist. So it should be like completely invisible. So let's do start. Let's start Google, and it started Google. Let's just start, okay, www. We can also fire up MS Paint. If you want, from some reason, you can do all sorts of commands. You can set the wallpaper and stuff like that. Now you can easily integrate whatever you want into this, maybe even pull the mimic hats inside, and then it should work great. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to close the program. We can say stop, and it says quit, it's not defined. All right, it doesn't matter, we can just close the shell, and it's going to say reattempting to connect. It's going to reattempt to connect all the time, which is a bit of a problem for the victim, but we don't care. Right, so now what we want to do is let's test this file for viruses. Also, sorry I didn't upload in a while. I've been working and I have college to do as well, so it's kind of a problem for me to make any videos because of that. But I'm gonna try my best to be consistent as much as I can. So there we go, we uploaded a program to the virus checker that will not share our results, and it has been scanned with 26 different antivirus software, and we got the hash, and we have the scan data or whatever, and it was detected by 0. This means it's fully undetectable. So this is a great malware or shell if you want to use it, but of course you're not going to use it in illegal purposes. And so that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I've just shown you how to make an undetectable reverse shell and make it into an exe so it's compatible with most computers today. And when I say most computers, I mean Windows, and it should work on every Windows. If there are some problems, then you should really look into compiling it better. So always test your viruses before you send them out, malware or whatever, and then make sure that they work. So I'm suggesting like a virtual machine or something. And you can also use the no console thing that I told you about in PyInstaller, and you can make sure that it's completely invisible. Also make sure you run as administrator, And there you go. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.